I don't exactly know. I don't know how that works.
Okay.
Now it's live, so you should be able to just join it.
All right. Well, maybe we can just talk about this generically, since we seem to be a little handicapped here. What I'm thinking about, okay, rewinding. What was the question you wanted to ask first about being able to replace the opening image? Or were there other bigger fish you wanted to look at? I'm afraid without the code, because I'm very visual, I have to see things.
Yeah. Do you want to try to share your Nisha? Oh. Her computer's probably freaking out on her.
Yeah, I like that descent into infinity there.
Interesting. I'll make this not full screen. Where's the... Where do I make this not full screen?
Okay, team 4.
There you go. I don't know where she went.
Oh. Yeah, it's just you and me right now, isn't it?
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she is. Okay. Welcome back. All right, send me a link again. You sent me a link to the meeting, right?
Can you guys hear me? I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me?
Hello, hello?
Hello, Anisha?
Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here. And I'm...
Darn it. Last time this happened, my computer...
Oh, okay. All right. Here we go, Jeff. I think I'm getting on here in just a second on my larger screen.
Oh, okay.
All right. There we go. What is better than one brother James?
Two brother Jameses.
Two.
All right, so Nisha. Oh, okay, there we go.
So this is the array that we had, or that I was working on.
I don't hear anything though. Hang on a sec. Oh, microphone is turned off on the computer. All right, somebody say something.
Can you hear me now?
I do.
Okay.
And Nisha's gone. She must be getting off and coming back.
Yeah, her computer's probably just overheating. The mic went out. Mine's done.
All right, so walk me through again what you were trying to do. Let me Go ahead. I'll listen.
I don't have her code, but I mean, while she's trying to figure out her thing, we can work on the array, I guess. But so we had, our idea was, because this, the original list, like, is just a list of names, and it has 3 different items here. We've got the name, and then we've got the sex, and then the number of times that it was registered in the Social Security system. So popularity, essentially.
Right.
So would the best way be is to assign each of them to an array, and then like gives each object, so like do it this way, so declare that that's a name, and then this is the sex, and then we could do like a popularity one here. Would that be the easiest way to do it, or is there an easier way to just tell it to go find these?
And what do you want to do with this list when you?
So we want it to be populated when they search for it. So it's, I'm not exactly sure on, because she had 4 buttons on her example, and so one of the ones that I was trying to just get it to work with was like with this. So that, let's see, that's this code. So just doing a function show hint, and then it should display, like when you search a name, then it displays all the different options. If you just do an A, then like kind of like Google does. So
right,
it displays all your options or your whatever name, and the more specific you get, the more it narrows it down to all the examples that are in the possible list. But right now, when I do any letter, it displays the entire list.
Okay.
It's like 33,000 names.
Okay, nice. Okay, well, that's a big thing that you got that. The rest of it is refining. So show me the code where you process what the user, you got the HTML request, the AJAX request going on here.
Yeah, and this is the HTML input.
All right, so you take the show hint and this value, which is what was typed in the string, and then you append the string onto the Q value that is passed off to year of birth 2014.txt.
Yes.
And so all that really is doing is grabbing the entire contents of the .txt file.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no processing going on the host that filters out all names that start with A, B. So what you would need to do is have a PHP. Are you guys familiar with PHP, or is that something?
I've been getting used to it.
Okay.
I haven't taken a class for it yet, because that Nisha and John are doing classes with PHP.
Okay. Well, what you'd need to do, instead of having .txt, because what that HTML JavaScript was doing right there,
Mm-hmm.
it happens to have a parameter of Q equals A, which is totally ignored by what's happening.
Okay.
And what the browser is seeing, or the AJAX processing is seeing, go get year of birth 2014.txt.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what you're seeing stuffed onto your screen.
Yeah.
What you need to do instead is create a PHP file, if that's what you want to do, that would take the A and you would cycle through the list there, the $A array, and find everything that starts with an A. And then if they type in an AV, you grab the Avery and or like AU. It would grab
Aubrey.
Aubrey, and that would get Audrey.
Yeah.
And you'd build a new array, which, how would that get passed back? I'm not sure how it would be passed back right now, but that would be what you would want to do. Go back to your code, Jeff. You go Jeff or Jeffrey?
Yeah, it's Jeff.
Okay. And actually, the page I wanted to see was where you had the screen where it had the entry field that does the Google.
In the browser?
Bottom right-hand corner there? Yeah. Do you have the code for this? Oh, no. This is the one where it brings back the entire.
That's what we're looking at.
There is some code out there, and I don't know if it's in W3 Schools or where, but it looks very similar to this page.
Yeah, here, Nisha has one on her website.
Oh, okay.
Oops. So this. So
Is this the one that interacts with Google?
It doesn't interact with Google. It just so this is the same code and whatnot.
Okay, so the get hint.php. Okay, type in first name. Show me, is this actually working?
Yeah, so you type in A and then it suggests Anna and Amanda.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so get hint.php.
Yes.
That's exactly what you want to do.
This is the file.
Okay.
Tools. So.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Scroll up there a little bit more, a little bit more. Go up, keep going up. I wanted to see, I'm sorry, go the
down.
Yes, yeah, keep scrolling. More. Okay, okay, stop right there. Q. Get the Q value in the $Q if it's something, lowercase, and then for each A, then you're dynamically building hint. You're appending name on there for every suggestion.
Yeah.
And then how is that passed back? How is $hint retrieved in the other page that just is on the screen? So hello, Nisha. Scroll back up. Well, stay on that page there. Scroll back up to the top. I want to see the HTML. Okay, stop here. First name, show hint. Get hint, send, and then it's where. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, response, the HTML.http.response text. Okay, so now I'm with you. That code on Nisha's page that gives the names when you type in AN.
Yeah.
You want to do exactly what you have on here. I was working with Jeff Smith earlier tonight on something kind of similar to this. And what you could do is, so this is pretty close to what you want for your code. Go down to the gethint.php file. Go down to the code part of it. What you could do here, see where the name is concatenated onto hint progressively.
Here.
Well, the next one down, the dot equals.
Yeah.
You could dynamically build a JSON string where you have the square brackets as your first character and then you put in name equals the name from the array, and then sex equals sex from the array, if it matches the characters that were typed in. And if you built a JSON string and returned that in the response text, you could then parse that result into another array that you could walk through the array and print those all out. I'm not sure if that is turning on any lights, but
No.
and what I could do, I will send you guys a piece of code. Hang on a second.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What'd you do?
It's amazing. I left and came back for the third time.
Oh.
Well, I'm glad I can hear someone. So what did you guys decide on the array? I saw that you guys were looking at it.
Yeah, he's just kind of helping me understand what needs to be done so we can do what we want to do with the array.
So do you suggest PHP or how do you, or different
PHP
files?
would work great for what you've got going here, since you want to dynamically. Oh, hang on a sec. I need to reply to Jeff's email. Doesn't. Oh. Jeff, I'm not sure if this is going to work. You sent me an invite to the meeting.
Yeah.
Which does not let me do a reply, evidently. So what I did is I posted some text. Did you see that come back to you?
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, it should.
I'm getting notifications.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Let me show you. If you could. All right, I'm going to give you one more piece of text. Ah, yes, that's the other one.
Okay, so that looks like Ajax, right? We've got
Yes, exactly.
load,
So it's
file true, relay.
so nothing exotic going on here. And what it does, Jeff Smith found this code someplace and couldn't get it working, and I helped him get it going tonight. Since I helped him, I'll help you guys. And he wanted this text that you see there that you're clicking on.
Mm-hmm.
He had that in file, and he wanted it returned to the screen. And click on the file. I don't know what you guys are looking at. If you see that text there, it's just JSON for an array.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to dynamically, as you go through your full list of names, looking for the A's, then the AUs, and populate that into a new string that mirrors a JSON string, then, so what you would have is, see, this is the first entry in that array is display : HTML tutorial. the other one, then it's display CSS tutorial. Well, you could have name colon Aubrey, name colon Audrey, dynamically build that, and then go down to my first comment. Let's see the code for that. Click on the read more and see where the response text comes back. Okay, so yeah, stop right there. And I parse that. The output of response text, I JSON parse it into my array, and that takes that text string and makes it a JSON array. And then what Jeff had was this my function, which would walk through the array and print out hrefs in this case.
Yeah.
Where he had, and instead of doing .url.display, you would do .name .sex .count, or whatever your plans were, and that would spit that out into a visible list on your screen.
Okay.
In fact, if you take this code here, exactly like I sent to you, and put that in an HTML file, and you take my second comment and put that in a file called index ajax_info.txt, that'll work for you as just a sample. Then in your PHP file that Nisha had in that sample, it would need to dynamically build something that looked like a JSON string. That making?
Yeah, I think it makes.
Oh, okay. You're looking at some JSON serialization there.
Yeah, no, I thought I had one. As one of my examples.
Mm-hmm. So what you would do is you would dynamically concatenate square bracket left curly brace name colon Aubrey, but you're going to walk through your full list of names at the thousands of names that you have, looking for one that starts with A or AU, whatever. And then you'd return that big old long string to your HTML, which would then parse it into a JSON array that you could then put it on your screen.
So we wouldn't have to text file.
You wouldn't have to do what?
We'd have to make the text file.
Right? You would need to create your output string would need to look like a JSON object that you would create in your code.
Okay.
Let's see. You've got most of the pieces there. It's now the gluing them together part.
Yeah.
Do you know if there are two?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Do you know if there are tutors?
There are not.
Okay.
You guys are the tutors for it. That's how
Okay.
they designed the class. But I'm glad to lend a hand and be an additional help to your team. If Nisha sent, well, let's see, send me the code for that piece of code that we looked at of Nisha's that grabs the names.
Wait, are you talking about the Big Three Schools one?
Yes, uh-huh.
So this?
Yeah, grab all of that code, just up to the Vicky. You don't need to give me the array of names. Just copy that and put that in the comments, and then I'll get that as an email. Yeah, just paste it there. Okay. Waiting for it to come through. And Team 3, they want to meet at 11 o'clock tonight.
Good.
Well, it's 9 o'clock in California, but it's 11 o'clock for me. All right, there we go, Jeff. I got it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to doctor this code up just a little bit and send it back to you. As a for instance.
Okay.
Okay. Bear with me for just a minute. You're going to have to do some programming on this to make it work. Okay. Okay. All right, so you got name, count, and sex. Or whatever you may choose for it to be. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Okay. And I might just send you this partial piece, and hopefully you'll get the picture, because I don't want to, because it's really boring to sit there and wait for somebody to do something, to type stuff. Okay. All right, I'm going to send this piece of code back to you
All right.
in the comments and see if that sheds light on what I'm. You guys can of course do whatever you want. This is just one idea, but looking at the pieces that you've got here, you're really close. So go look at the code that I just put in the comments.
Okay.
And again, this is not a working piece of code. All right, there we go. Let's just look at it there. See where the dollar hint equals double quote square bracket, and then add to that curly brace name colon, and then embed the name in there, and then append to that, and there should actually be a comma in there to separate that from the next attribute of sex. Oops. Oh, I just lost you guys. Hang on a second. Where are you at? There you go. And then dynamically build a string that looks like a JSON string. Do you see what I'm talking about? You'd have name colon, and then you'd put in the name from your array, comma, sex colon, and the gender from your array, and then comma, count colon, and then dollar count from your array. And then at the very end, when you're done with all your looping, you'd put in the closing square bracket. And all along the way, you have to find out is this, if it's the last entry, don't put a closing quote, comma there.
Okay.
And I could spend another. At the second line, the else, where it just has equals dot empty string dot name. That one there would look exactly like the line above it, except it wouldn't have the square bracket. The square bracket's whole purpose is, oh, this is the very first entry, and you could do some programming to in fact, I might even do something with that too, just to show you an example. The programmer in me is coming out, and I'm thinking that I don't want to do too much, but I think, oh, this is kind of fun. I'm going to send you another little sample here. Okay, I'm going to send you a little bit more send you some of the same code all over again. And then I might tell you you're on your own. In fact, the piece I just sent to you now,
Yeah.
I haven't watched it if you're doing anything, but the piece I sent to you now is actually simplified and does a little better job. So I start off initializing the hint string with a square bracket, and then in the you don't need to check to see if it's the first entry or not to put the name in there, and so you put in, you just dynamically build something that looks like a JSON string.
Yeah,
And
since
then when you get done with it, go ahead, Nisha.
sorry, I was gonna say since I'm behind, then it's not part of the loop. You don't have to worry about it.
Right. One thing you do need to do in here that I haven't put in have not put any logic in for is each of the entries in the array have to be separated by a comma. So you have to, if it's entry 1 through n-1, it gets a comma. If it's the last entry, it doesn't. There's some programmatic ways that you can figure that out. And instead of your PHP being, let's see, are you substringing that by the commas? Is that what you're doing there?
This.
How are you breaking it up from name, gender, count when you parse it out? When you that you were going to dynamic, you were going to put the okay.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing before you come in, whether to do a key value.
Yeah. All right, so how are you doing?
Good, I think. So we just have to do.
Yeah. And I'm not a big PHP guy to tell you about the syntax on this, but I imagine what you've got there is probably would do the job. And over and over and over do that. And you can test it with 3 to just get started.
Yeah.
And then the magic happens on the HTML side where you get this big long string and you're going to parse it. JSON.parse, which will convert it into a handy dandy thing that you can then pull out with the dot syntax. Dot pop, dot whatever, sex.
Yeah.
So. All right, I'm going to sign off.
Okay.
Thank you for helping us.
Well, I hope I helped you. That'll give you something to think about. As you look at those 2 pieces of code, and not necessarily the ones I sent you, but the your PHP and then the info ajaxinfo.txt that I sent you. Well, I didn't name it, but the thing that has JSON strings in it. What you want to do is build a JSON string and then parse it. I think that'll get you in the right direction. All right. Good luck, you guys.
Oh boy. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, got my week's worth of work cut out for me, I guess.
I know my computer cut out on me, so I never got my question answered.
Yeah. I think, let's see. I wonder, do you want to share your code? I'll see if I can see it.
I don't. I have to re-pull my NetBeans up.
No.
Everything crashed. I think I understood most of what he was saying.
Yeah, I think I understand the concept, but how to get there, it's a little muddy, but
Yeah.
what was John doing again?
Just a nav bar, and I think he was pulling up the pages through Ajax or something so that it would be dynamic.
Oh, gotcha.
Since we're supposed to stay on one page, all of
Yeah.
the nav options would have to be dynamic. So what I did was just did a placeholder of a nav just with the CSS stuff.
Did you just size the div so that it's the size of a mobile screen on the web page?
Yeah, I did. I looked up iPhones since they're really popular.
Yeah.
So it's 380 by 640 is the size of the container that I made for it. We can always change the size, but I wanted to go ahead and make it small so that it was already a mobile size to begin with.
Yeah, no, of course.
So with mine, I started with an index.php page, and then I decided that I wanted a landing page to make it look more like an app. So
Okay.
it would just show up and they would click and it would go into the app. So it's just like the app initializing kind of thing. And so I created a landing page, took out all of my index.php code,
Uh-huh.
all of the HTML code, kept that in the index.php file. Then all I have in it is the containers that go around the page. There's a, it doesn't even have the logo and stuff on the top. It doesn't
Okay.
even have the logo and stuff on the top. It just has a paragraph with a headline, the click to start, kind of like an under headline, an image that has an on-click on it, and then a div to display it. So that's all that's on the landing page. It's just an image, a header, and an under header. And on the on-click, this is the code that pulls the second page into it. And right here is index.php.
Okay.
So it takes the index page and puts it in the div. So that's why it's stacked, is because the whole page is going into the div, and so it's underneath this. And
Yeah.
so what I have to figure out how to do is to have it actually replace all of the HTML here.
No, I understand. Yeah.
And there's two codes that people are saying online that work. There's the window open code, where it's a lot like this. So instead of XML HTTP open. It's window.open. There's no get. It has the index and then underscore self to say that it's loading on the same page. So loading over the HTML. And then I think it had a width and a height. And then true, I think is if you want to overwrite. I tried that and couldn't get it to work. And then the other one people said was window.location.href. And then you just put the web address in there, and it's supposed to basically redirect the page to that location.
Yeah.
So it would automatically cover it. So both of those are supposed to work. I just don't know how to get it to work because I tried both and I couldn't get it to actually. So I do the on-click and nothing happens. But this one, the on-click works. It just stacks it. So I just need to figure out how to take this page and overwrite it. So that's why I was hoping there might be a tutor. Where I could just say, can you show me how to do that? Because I'm sure it's easy. Both codes were just one-liners, but I just don't know why it's not working in this instance. I tried it both with window here and with this here, thinking that maybe, because it says window dot this right here, and it's a new object, so I thought maybe that this would replace window. And I tried both, and it wouldn't work either. So I don't know. I just need to find out how. And then, I mean, it's basically there. It's just missing about a line of code. And then it will load right. So.
Yeah, that's so weird.
But the logo, what I was originally thinking on the logo, what do you see when you look at it?
What do I see?
Mm-hmm.
It's just baby name finder to start, and then
So when you look at the image, what do you see?
a boy and a girl with a heart. I don't know.
Okay. So like the whole, I'm not sure exactly about this yet, but the whole thing behind it was I was trying to portray like a baby. So this is a heart, but I was also trying to make it look like a baby, which is really hard because every time I tried to make it look more like a baby, it wouldn't look like a heart. So basically, it was supposed to be a man and a woman up here, but they look like little kids more than a man and a woman. I was having a hard time trying to get them to look like that. But basically, a man and a woman in love creates a baby, or, you know, a baby is born out of love kind of thing. And I was trying to get like this to kind of simulate arms, like they're holding the baby. But so that was like the meaning behind it, but I don't know. Like it didn't, this part I think is the part that I'm just not sure about. But that was the whole meaning behind the app. I was trying to give, you know how a lot of logos and design, it's a lot of what's not said kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like the hidden meaning. And so I was trying to portray that a baby comes from love. And
even because you've got the white heart, so if the blue on the inside that was supposed to be the baby, even if that didn't look like a heart, it's still like you could still be able to tell because of the outline shape.
yeah, so I was having it lined up so it would kind of go the heart too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a design person.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out, but that was just the underlying meaning that I was trying to portray with it.
Yeah, well, that's cool. It's very smart. I did not think this deep into this stuff. So.
Well, when you're designing it, you have to have the hidden meaning part too. So
True.
I was trying to figure out. So anyways, well, I don't know what we're supposed to do for next week. So
I might have an idea about how to replace. Because how, let's see. Where's mine? What is it? No. Okay, so the first one, refresh. Load.
what are you guys doing?
Show Daddy something.
No, pause it. Did you do that tonight?
No, that was like yesterday. No,
Shh. Mom's on video call. You boys go.
this is so funny. 2 days.
It's not a good idea to bring
Let's
it in
turn
here.
it and watch.
Let me see the code again.
Let's watch it while it's closed.
For that, yeah. I'm pretty
So
sure.
in all the cases so far, when we've sent it into a div, everything on this same page continued to be there. It just replaced what was ever in the div. So if it was empty, it would put it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So in order to replace the whole HTML and everything, the head, the meta, everything, it would have to be opened into the screen and not into the div.
Yeah, I just wonder why that doesn't replace. Class. Because the div with the result 1 is the only div on there, right?
The only div ID, but it's just putting it into the ID. It's not replacing the rest of the page. That's why it stacks, because it will only go right here, and so everything above it continues to be there.
Oh, I understand.
So in order to have it replace the whole page, you'd have to open it in its own window, which we don't want a separate window. And that's why the window open option has a self where it opens in its own window. I just haven't figured it out how to get it to work yet.
Try googling the first. Is it the div? I can't really read it. The first div under body.
Class. That's a
The
class.
what?
That's
Yeah.
a class. You mean you want get element by class?
No, because then it won't display it all of the first part, huh?
Well, it still doesn't cover the HTML and header, and it's a full file. So it's got its own doc type, its own head, its own meta. So I've just got 2 that people online say works. I just have to figure out how.
I wonder if you just get it to like instead of having its own document, you just get it to replace the first. So what I was thinking of is like on these Ajax examples. So say that this is the first the first text, it's just simply when you're clicking on the link, then it'll just change it and then replace it. And so you might not need to have it in a separate document. You could just. Is that making
But
sense?
then wouldn't it need a onload? Because we don't want to have to actually load it.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I think it's still on an on click, isn't it? Click to start. Index, yeah, so it's an on click.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
We only have what, 4 weeks?
3 now.
3 weeks. See, and next
Wow.
week's the 4th of July, and we're actually going out of town. For some reason, I thought the class was over by 4th of July.
Sorry.
Not. So next week will be interesting. But I think if we could get the array to work, I think that I'll be able to figure this one out. So it'll be fine. But if we can get the array to work, we basically all they need to do, sorta, to have the app work for them is to have the on-click work, be able to look at the list, be able to click on the name they want, and be able to review the description that comes with it.
Yeah.
So if we can get it that far, then it might be good enough to be considered almost done.
Yeah, and then we just kind of add, subtract, or edit things.
Yeah.
No actual
I
building.
I think if we can get over this, the first main hurdles,
Yeah.
then, I mean, if we can get the app to work to the point to see the description of the name, then we could do like what, JSON to store the name, or local storage,
Uh-huh.
and store the names that they like. And then it's probably good enough to finish the class.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Which it's doable. There's 3 of us. We should be able to get it that far.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so.
Okay, well, I'll figure this out. I'll get it finished. So there is a subdomain that it's on, and once I have that figured out, I can get it uploaded into the GitHub,
Okay.
and then you can pull it to mess with the on-click. Hopefully I'll get it figured out maybe tomorrow, Thursday at the latest. It shouldn't be too hard. I just need to know the right person to ask.
The right thing to do, I guess.
Well, I was hoping that the teacher would tell me that. I just need
Yeah.
to figure it out. So, and so next week, did you say that you took a PHP class or not?
I haven't, no.
So this is all new.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No, I'll figure something out. I'll be able to figure it out, I'm sure, with what he explained.
or get it as far as you can, and then me and John can look over it and see if we can take it the rest of the way.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just keep on going then.
Yeah, I think because since this is such a huge part of it, like, I mean, it's a pretty big task to get the whole array and then basically the whole design of it done. So, yeah, we could probably just continue doing it, like,
this whole thing, make sure it's perfected by the end of next week anyway.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All righty.
Well, thanks for meeting.
Yep.
And we will talk, if not by Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. You have a good night.
Yep. You too. Bye.
Okay.